Good evening, everyone. My name is Maxwell Sekyi. I'm representing Team New Zealand. This presentation will focus on cyber operations and risk management. One of the objectives of this presentation is to identify the software assurance needs and expectations of the organization. The software assurance needs of this organization is to make sure that the software is free from vulnerabilities, either intentionally or unintentionally, designed and inserted as part of the software development cycle. And also to make sure that client expectations are fully met. The next phase of this presentation is the description of the key attributes of the current software development lifecycle. The software development lifecycle begins with the planning stage. During the planning stage, the team determines software goals and develop high-level plans. The team also determines all user requirements to ensure understanding of the scope and assist in meeting software goals. Identifying development, feasibility assessment, and creation of project plan takes place under the planning phase. The second phase in a software development life cycle is the analysis stage. During the analysis stage, software development goals are converted to define system functions that need development. Gathering and analysis of business requirements and creation of process diagrams and perform detailed analysis is done during this phase. During the design phase, developers and technical architects begin high-level design of the software and system to deliver requirements. Documents created in this phase establish business rules and schedule code and screen layout. Activities in this phase include designing IT infrastructure and system models. The next phase is the developmental phase. During the developmental phase, designs are converted into functional software. Requirements gathered from the client are implemented based on designs. The goal of this phase is to deliver a working software and a source code document. Then we move on to the fifth phase, that is the testing phase. This is the last phase of the SDL before the software is delivered to the customer. During this stage, testers aim to detect and inspect software for required documentation in analysis phase. Deployment phase. Software is delivered after going through rigorous testing. Users are allowed to operate software in real-life environment. Customer signs off on the software after end-user requirements satisfied. Also, we have the maintenance phase. This phase takes place after the software is fully in operation. Activities involved in this phase include support system users, maintenance and system changes and adjustment, and software upgrades to meet or adapt to future needs. Identification of non-supply chain risks. Inadvertent insertion of defects and vulnerabilities of software are the most likely source of supply chain risks. Defects and vulnerabilities negatively impact reliability, security, and safety attributes. This arises because of third-party tampering of software during the software development lifecycle and also reliance on external software developers expose software to malware, ransomware, trojans, and other threats. Identification of vulnerabilities in existing software. Software vulnerabilities are defects in software-specific implementation or system security policies and enables attackers access or damage system without authorization. The vulnerabilities identified in the existing software are coding, design errors, and operational faults during the software development lifecycle. Weak credentials in existing software may lead to data breach. Identification of software options that meet the organization's needs. There are several steps that the organization can go through in identifying the software options. The first step is to define the problem that needs to be solved. Step 2, map the current workflow. Step 3, find the source and solution to the problem. Step 4, do you need one or more solutions? Step 5, is the new software really needed? Step 6, how much is the organization willing to spend? Evaluation of software options and recommendations. Identification of key technical capabilities that provide value, such as platform compatibility, third-party software compatibility, configurability, and flexibility to changes in technological advancement. Identification and evaluation of the software. The organization can consult industry peers to conduct evaluation by scoring each capability and consistent evaluation of the software. Presentation of software options and recommendations to the stakeholders. After careful identification and evaluation of the various software options to stakeholders, a decision is made based on technical capabilities and value of the software. The software with the best technical capability and value will benefit the organization in the long run. Production capacity. Thoroughly appraise the supplier's ability and limitation because it allows the organization to identify the supplier that can scale production in response to SDLC. In terms of quality, quantifying quality of supplier's product is integral to supplier evaluation. The quality of the product is determined by meeting its intended user requirement. Risks. The third party suppliers can be evaluated based on their effort to minimize risks throughout the supply chain by reviewing performance metrics such as average response time, overall delays, and corrective actions to determine the risks posed by the supplier. Explanation of cost involved in recommendation. The cost involved is essential in choosing the software and supplier. Before the organization starts looking for a new software, it is important to determine the amount that is willing to be spent by the organization. Cost involved should include training, implementation process, and time spent on adapting to the new software. Contract language used to ensure supply chains, system, network, and operational security. Organizations can ensure software is secured and operational by incentive clauses in supply chain contract. The following clauses should be inserted in supply chain contract. Protection of confidential information and company know-how. Quality requirements should be included in the contract. Conditions to promote contractual performance and plan for the end of the contract. Thank you very much.